Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix English. Today we are going to talk about self-introduction. The answer to the dreaded question, tell me about yourself. Now to some of you this topic may seem very basic, but learning to introduce yourself properly is incredibly important. You might need to introduce yourself without any forewarning, so you have to be well prepared. You may need to introduce yourself in your English class or in a job interview. You might need to introduce yourself, for example, at a new job or at a new hobby or leisure activity. You even may need to introduce yourself in a big event or in convention, like in front of thousands of people. I feel very nervous and anxious every time that I have to introduce myself to a large groups of people. For English learners, this is incredibly intimidating. In order to successfully introduce yourself, you must have your self-introduction pre-written and learned. You have to be prepared. In this video, I'm going to guide you through this process. At the end of this lesson, you will have a complete self-introduction that is ready to use and ready for you to learn off by heart. So let's start with the basics of a self-introduction. The very first thing that you will need to say when introducing yourself is a greeting. Now, you can have formal greetings or you can have informal greetings. It depends where you are, the situation you are in. So let's start with the formal greetings. Obviously, hello. Hello can be both formal and informal, but it's fine to use it in a formal situation. You can also have good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Make sure you pay particular attention to what time of day it is. I have said good morning in the evening and good evening in the morning before. One thing to note is the use of good day. In British English, good day is considered very old-fashioned, very formal. It's not commonly used. However, it is very common in Australian English. They kind of shorten it down to good day, good day. Good day is more informal. But this again, if you're in Australia. Also note that good night is normally a send-off. It's an equivalent for goodbye. We use it when we are leaving instead of when we are greeting someone. If you want to introduce yourself in the night time, you would say good evening. Now let's talk about informal greetings. It's very important for you to find one that you feel comfortable with. There are lots of ways for informal greetings like hey, what's up, hi, hiya, yo, what's good, which is quite an American one. I really admire people who can just stand up and say, yo, what's good? But you know, it's not gonna happen for me. It doesn't suit my personality. It doesn't suit my position when I enter the class. So make sure you pick one that you feel comfortable saying. It's very important. Next, of course, we have your name. Now, there are many ways of introducing your name. The very basic ones like I'm or I am. I'm Omid or I am Omid. If you're introducing yourself in a situation where majority of audience cannot see you, for example, on the telephone, no one can really see you when speaking on the telephone. You can say, my name is, or my names, with the apostrophe S, the contracted form. My name is Omid. My name is Omid, or my name's Omid. Or if you're in a very large auditorium or in convention, then you might want to use this is Omid. On the telephone, I would normally say, hi, this is Omid speaking, or hi, this is Omid. Next, let's talk about location. Where you're from and where you're living. Again, there are so many variations of this. I'm going to start with the most basics and then move on to a slightly more complicated ways of describing your geographical location. Firstly, we have I'm from, and then the place name. I'm from Tehran. We also have I'm and the nationality adjective. For example, I'm Iranian. Iranian is my nationality adjective. Or I'm Persian. I can say I'm Persian or I'm Iranian because Based on my nationality, I have two nationality adjectives, Persian and Iranian. If you're from somewhere that is quite far from the place that you're introducing yourself, you can say, I come from. I come from. And then you can name that place. Come from implies a little bit more of a journey. If you want to say where you grew up, you can say, I was born and raised in the place name. I was born and raised in Iran. If you're born in one place but grew up in another place, you can say, I was born, for example, in France and raised in, for example, Sweden. And if you want to say that you are from one place but now living in another place, now there are various options. You can say, I grew up in Tehran but now live in Istanbul. I'm originally from Tehran, but I'm now based in Istanbul. If you want to say how long you have lived in a certain place, you can say, I have been living in Istanbul for 3 years. Or, I've spent the past few years in Istanbul. So you can say, I have been living in the name of the place for the duration. This is the formula. Now, those are the basics. Let's talk about some other options that you can add up to your self-introduction. A very important option is your position and your company. Now you can say, I work at Google in marketing department. You can say, I work at or I work for. You would not say, I work in and then the company name. It's either I work at or I work for the company name. You can also say, I'm a manager at a Starbucks. I'm a position at company. Again, at can be replaced with a for. For example, I'm a manager for a Starbucks. Both are correct. If you just want to give a general idea of the field in which you work, you can say, I work in general area. For example, I work in sales. Sales is a general area. So I say I work in sales. If you want to give the specific position, you can say I work as a deputy manager. I work as an accountant. I work as an accountant. I work as a teacher. You might also want to mention your qualifications, especially if you're introducing yourself in a job interview. Now, if you want to say that you're close to graduation, you can say, I'm about to graduate. I'm about to. We use this phrase, I'm about to graduate. You can also say, I'm a subject graduate or postgraduate. I'm a marketing graduate. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing. Or I have a BA, short form of Bachelor of Arts. I have a BA degree in marketing. Or just a BA in marketing, it's correct. I'm a biology postgrad. Postgrad. Instead of saying postgraduate, I said postgrad. Shortening it to grad is more informal. So it might be something that you say in a convention or in your English class, because now it's an informal way of saying postgraduate, okay? We just shorten it down to postgrad. It's more informal now. If you want to talk about your courses or other achievements, you can say, I'm currently taking a course in subject. For example, math. I'm currently taking a course in math. Now note the preposition. Please, it's super important. In versus on. You can take a course in something theoretical, like math. You can take a course on something practical, for example, jewelry making, or I don't know, pottery. I'm taking a course on jewelry making. We can also remove the preposition. For example, I'm taking a pottery course. If you want to say that you finished a course and it's now on your CV, you can say, I have completed a 72-hour course, for example, in or on subject, depending on being theoretical or practical. We talked about it. For the time scale of the course, you can say the number dash the unit of time. For example, 72-hour course. And that, all of that together, 72-hour, forms an adjective. 72-hour is an adjective in this sentence. For example, a 72-hour course in math. A 3-day course in, for example, English teaching. 3-day is an adjective here. The number dash the unit of time. Now, if you want to talk about your experiences, about your previous jobs, for example, you can say, I have numbered years of experience in the field. For example, I have 3 years of experience in the neuroscience field at whichever company. You don't necessarily have to say field in the field. You can say, for example, I have 10 years of sales experience, or I have 10 years of experience in sales. You can also say, I've worked in field for however long you have worked there. For example, I've worked in the accounting field for 3 years. Or I've worked in accounting for 3 years. Now, if you're in a more informal situation, one in which you're introducing yourself to make friends, to meet people, or to get to know each other better, you may want to talk about your family. Obviously, there are normal things like, I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a mom and a dad. But what if you want to give a little bit more information? And also you want to show off your language skills. One common mistake I hear my students make is when they want to talk about how large or how small their family is. They want to tell me how many family members there are in their family. I often hear them say, we are 5 in our family, or we are 4 in our family. This isn't correct in English. In English we say, I am from a family of number. I'm from a family of 4. Or we are a family of 4. This is a very important one for you to remember. It's a mistake that I hear frequently. If you want to talk about your brothers or sisters, you can say, I am one of 4 siblings. Siblings doesn't specify the gender. So you don't have to say 2 brothers, 2 sisters, 1 brother, 1 sister. You can easily say 3 siblings. I am one of 4 siblings. Or if you're already talking about family, you can just say, I'm one of 4. The person in front of you 100% understands what are you talking about. You don't have to say, for example, 4 siblings or 3 siblings. You can say, I'm one of 4, I'm one of 3. If you have no brothers or sisters, you can say, I'm an only child. I am an only child. You might want to talk about your hobbies. You have all the usual phrases. I like running. I really enjoy tennis. One really good phrase, I think, is, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of video games. Okay? You can also say, I'm a keen, and then the noun. I'm a keen runner. I'm a keen tennis player. Now, I've left this one till last because really it isn't as necessary anymore. But it's important that you know how to say it. It's age. We have the basic one. I'm 29 years old, for example. We can shorten it down. I'm 29. If you don't want to specify your age, you can say, I'm in my early, mid, late, and then your decade. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or teens as well, if you're really young. For example, I'm in my late 20s. She's in her early teens. He's in his mid-40s. Now, the last point in this vocabulary section of this lesson, I want to talk about the dreaded fun fact. I've been to a lot of events. I've been to a lot of conventions. And I've introduced myself in a lot of English classes. One thing that teachers and speakers love to ask you to do is give a fun fact about yourself. And it's annoying because you have to stand up and say, my name is, my job is, my fun fact is. And that could be really, really frustrating and intimidating. To suddenly prepare an interesting fact about yourself is really hard. So I highly recommend that you have a fun fact up your sleeve, a fun fact prepared. Think about an interesting fear. Think about a weird like or dislike. A very interesting thing is always your pet, or it can be a strange achievement or an extraordinary experience. I always say that I have won several video gaming tournaments. It's one of my extraordinary experiences. You can share your fun fact about yourself in the comment section. If you want, it's optional. Now, I've given you loads of different options. I've given you the basics, and then you can add on the options. But you will be left with a lot of short sentences. Let's see how mine would look. Good morning, everyone. My name is Omid. I am 29 years old. I'm from Tehran. I work as an English teacher. I'm a marketing graduate. I'm a big fan of running and fitness classes. Whilst all of that is grammatically correct and very clear, I think it would be better if I condensed these 7 sentences down into 2 flowing sentences. What do you think of this? Good morning, everyone. My name is Omid, and I'm a 29-year-old marketing graduate from Tehran. I now work as an English teacher, and I'm a big fan of running and fitness classes. So much better, so much shorter, and so much more natural. See, if you can condense your introduction into 2 flowing sentences, minus the greeting, that can be a little sentence on its own. I haven't removed any information. Right, I'm really looking forward to reading all of your fun facts. Feel free to correct each other and help each other. I will see you soon for another English lesson. Goodbye.